But now we turn to racial tensions in America, and one man who seems uniquely poised to take the issues head on. Growing up biracial in segregated South Africa only seemed to sharpen Trevor Noah's sense of humor. Here's ABC's Deborah Roberts.
Thank you for being on the show.
It is great to see you.
Tonight, Barack Obama made his final appearance on The Daily Show as president, discussing the election of Donald Trump.
The president-elect has very clearly said he refuses intelligence briefings. And so he's come out and said, I don't need them because I'm a smart man.
I think the president-elect may say one thing and do another once he's here, because the truth of the matter is that it's a big, complicated world. It doesn't matter how smart you are, you have to have the best information possible to make the best decisions possible.
It's the biggest get yet for Trevor Noah, the 32-year-old host of The Daily Show, just over a year after taking the reins from Jon Stewart.
This is The Daily Show with Trevor Noah.
Noah is making his mark, tackling the topic of race, taking aim at President-elect Trump.
In Donald Trump's America, everyone is speculating as to who should be the most afraid. Black people, Latinos, the English language.
Do you think Donald Trump is racist?
I do.
You do?
And I'll tell you why. It's tough to say that somebody is not racist when they're doing all the racist things. You know, sometimes I feel like we need to invent like a racism Richter scale. Because racism in America is such a loaded word. It feels like people are more afraid of being called racist than actually being racist.
Nobody wants to be called racist.
No, people go, don't call me racist. I might do these things, but you don't call me racist. If Donald Trump chooses an advisor who has a platform that specifically caters to a movement that is neo-Nazi and white supremacist, then what do you call that? People go, I don't say the N-word, and I don't hang anybody, so I can't be racist. And I go, well, there's levels.
Noah's uniquely suited to talk about racism, growing up biracial in apartheid South Africa. He was forced to navigate the dangerous worlds between black and white, but he says he learned that communicating with those of the opposite view is crucial to success.
I don't exist in a world where I only listen to the people I agree with, because then how will I ever know how to dismantle or think about your arguments in a different way? Tommy Lahren.
Which is precisely why Noah invited conservative internet sensation Tommy Lahren on the show for an interview that went viral.
Do you really believe you're criticizing and you're not malintentioned when you say things like Black Lives Matter is the new KKK? Because you realize Black Lives Matter can't be the new KKK. The KKK is still around.
Some people were asking, why would you invite her on the show?
Because we invite everyone who's in the political sphere on the show. It's like, I don't agree with you on things, and I would like to challenge you, and I would like for you to challenge me.
Noah knows all about challenges, which he explores in his painfully honest new book, Born a Crime.
Different races being together was a crime, an official crime. There was an immorality act in the country.
Let alone sleeping together.
Exactly, that forbade that, and you could spend years in jail. And luckily, my parents were never caught, but my mom was caught for minor infractions regarding, relating to race, and she would spend time in jail, whether it be a week or a few weeks. Oftentimes, she'd have to pay a month's salary to get out.
His journey has led him here to one of the most coveted jobs in comedy.
Knowing where you've come from, such difficult times, do you sit here sometimes and go, wow?
Every day. Sometimes you get caught up in, hashtag first world problems. You're in a world where people convince you of problems that aren't real. Every single night I sit at the desk, every single night I talk to the audience. I appreciate every single inch of this place.
Each day begins just after 9 a.m. in The Daily Show morning writers meeting.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Nice thoughts.
The staff presenting pitches for that night's show.
I found one Facebook Live show where it's called The Wheel of Fugitives.
Yes.
And the cops spin the wheel and it lands on somebody's mugshot.
Wait, the police are doing this?
Yeah, the police are doing
Wow. No, man.
This idea culminates into a hilarious segment, later delivered by correspondent Hassan Minaj.
Yes, this is so much fun!
No, Hassan, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, we've got to take law enforcement seriously.
Dude, loosen up. Tell me you weren't happy when the wheel didn't land on the black guy.
And when you go out there, still, it's been more than a year now.
Yes.
Does it still feel exciting, scary, what?
You never know. It's a different audience every day. It's different jokes every day. So there's always a possibility that anything could happen.
This newfound fame, a stark contrast from Noah's tough childhood.
So when you're writing a book, is it painful to go back over all of that, or is it cathartic?
I think it's a combination of both. I think through the pain comes the catharsis. You know, writing stories about growing up in a home where we sometimes didn't have food is painful. You know, remembering stories of growing up in a home of domestic abuse, painful stories.
One of the more painful ones involving his abusive stepfather and the terrifying day he shot Noah's mother, Patricia, in the head.
Did you think you were going to lose her?
I did. My mother was shot not just in the torso, but in the head. And I mean, a head shot is a head shot. You don't think a person's recovering. And miraculously, she came out on the other side with no permanent damage. It's something that my family has lived through and now we laugh about, and that's who we are as a family.
Is that where your comic chops came from? Laughing at the pain?
I think so, yeah. Laughter is an escape. I feel like laughter reminds you of your best self, your favorite self, your freest self.
He turned that laughter into a career, becoming one of the most successful comics in South Africa.
So Oprah flew down on her jet and she built the school. $50 million she spent. She was like, "You're not gonna spank these kids, are you?" And the headmaster was like, "No, never. We beat them. But because it's Oprah school, everybody's getting one. You're getting a beating, you're getting a
His
beating."
stand-up eventually catching the eye of Jon Stewart.
Jon is the crazy person who plucked me from obscurity. He's the guy who saw me and said he should come to the show.
You flew in, I guess, yesterday from South Africa.
Yeah, I just flew in and boy, are my arms tired.
Okay. All right there, oldie but a goodie. Very nice.
No, seriously. I've been holding my arms like this since I got here. Yeah. I never thought I'd be more afraid of police in America than in South Africa. It kind of makes me a little nostalgic for the old days back home.
That's just, come on.
One of the biggest things that struck me when I came to the US was how there was a lack of acknowledgement. There are many Americans who still live in a world where they don't even acknowledge the fact that African Americans are operating from a place of deep oppression. And if there is no system where we are working to reform people or trying to have a discussion, then that racism is not going to go anywhere.
Earlier tonight at the White House, President Obama echoing the need for Americans to come together.
I think it's important to give the incoming administration the space and to give the public clarity about what it is that they're trying to do.
An improbable moment for that biracial boy born a crime all those years ago, seated across from the U.S. president, a biracial man himself. For Nightline, I'm Deborah Roberts in New York.
Thank you.